येनाक्षरसमां नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। अज्ञानान्धस्य लोकस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकयां चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। Okay, in yesterday class, we completed this sutra, Pluta Pragruhya Achi Nityam. This was the main sutra in Prakruti Bhava Prakaranam. This one. This was the sutra, Pluta Pragruhya Achi Nityam. This Prakruti Bhava Prakarana extends up to each Chakravarmanasya 130. So we shall study all the sutras from Angorunasikas Chandasi up to E Chakravarmanasya in today in this class. Totally 5 sutras we are going to study today. The first sutra is Angorunasikas Chandasi. Angorunasikaha Angaha Anunasikaha Chandasi. Angaha Shashti Anunasikaha Pratama Chandasi Saptami. Anurutti Angaha Anunasikaha. The Ang, that Nakara is it, so Dirga which is from Pradigana. When used with Kriya Yoga, we call it as Upasarga as in Agachati That gets Anunasika, it becomes Anunasika, so it becomes Chandasi in the context of Chandasi. When we need some other criteria, so we have to take the Anurutti of Prakrutya from the very first sutra of Prakriti Bhava Prakarana. Prakrutyantah Padam Avyapare. Achi from the previous sutra. Pluta Pragruhya Achi Nityam. Achi and Nityam from the previous sutra. Anyway, even if you don't take Nityam, usually unless otherwise mentioned, all the sutras they are applied compulsorily. So Pragruhya and Achi, it means Anvayaha Angaha Achi Chandasi Nityam Anunasikaha Prakrutya. It means Angaha. This sutra is related to only this Ang, where Nakara is it, only A is referred here. Whenever it is followed by Ach letter, Achi, Chandasi in the context of Chandas, Anunasikaha, this A becomes Anunasika. This is Niranunasika. This becomes Anunasikaha whenever it is followed by Ach in the context of Vedas, Chandas. So, and there will be Prakruti Bhava. Then this A cannot combine with this A by Yaka Savarna Dirgha to form Dirgha. There will not be Savarna Dirgha here. It will be Prakrutya. Prakrutivat Bhavati. So there will be no sandhi between Anunasika A and the Ach letter. Nityam, and this is Nitya. This is compulsorily happens in it is seen in Chandas, in Vedas. There is no optional A plus Acha or A plus Acha. There is always Anunasika followed by Acha. There will be Prakruti Bhava after that. Apaha, Apaha. There will be Prakruti Bhava. Similarly, ugraputre, a ugraputre. That a, whenever it is followed by any H letter, there will be anunasikatvam of that ang. Chandasi, this is restricted to Chandas. So in Laukika Samskrita, there can be there will be appropriate sandhi between that a and H letter. So a plus ugraputre in Laukika Samskrita, a plus o, there will be adguna. So a plus o becomes o, ugraputre. Okay, this is about angonunasikas chandasi. Ang, whenever it is followed by any H letter, there will be anunasika, the conversion of niranunasika ang to anunasika ang, and there will be a prakruti bhava after that. Iko savarne shakalyasya rasvascha. Ikaha asavarne. Usually whenever we see the savagraha chinne preceded by O or A, there will be purva rupa sandhi. So we have to split like this. Ikaha asavarne. There will be a here. Here iko asavarne. Iko asavarne. Usually that O will be formed. Usually, not in all the cases. Most of the cases, that O will be formed because of guna sandhi a plus O. So that O will be formed because of ru. Okay. Ikaha asavarne shakalyasya rasvaha cha. Ikaha shashti asavarne. So ik letter e urulo, whenever they are followed by asavarna, means then savarna letter should not be there. E plus E should not be there. E plus O, E plus ru, like that. Rasvaha, ikaha rasvaha. Sthani is ikaha, ik letter. Rasvaha is the adesha. So if anurtya prakrutya achi and padantat from yenga padantadati 109. So padantadikaha asavarne hachi, hachi from pluta pragrihya achi nityam, shakalyasya matena rasvaha prakrutya cha bhavati. So padantadikaha, that ik letter should be at the end of a pada. Asavarne achi, it should be followed by an ach letter which is not savarna to ik letter, which is present at the end of the pada. Then there will be rasvaha, rasvatvam of that ik letter. After that there will be prakruti bhava. There will not be any sandhi. So for example, Kumari atra, the anurti of chandasi is not there. It is applicable even to the Laukika Samskrita also. Kumari atra, here this re of Kumari ends with E, which is a ik letter. It is followed by an ach letter. So in this case, by the opinion of Shakalya Maharshi, there will be rasva of this dirgha ik letter. So it will be Kumari atra, and there will not be any sandhi again. After this, there will be prakruti bhava, and this is Shakalya. According to the opinion of Shakalya Maharshi, it means this happens optionally. So if you don't do a rasva of this ik letter, then by iko enachi we will have Kumari yatra also, ikarasya yakaraha. Whenever Panini Maharshi mentions the name of some other acharyas, it means it is to indicate this happens optionally. Sometimes it is the name of the Maharshis is used to show respect to their work. Also, here this is to show this is this happens optionally. So Kumari yatra, then there will be prakruti bhava or Kumari yatra by ko enachi. Kumari plus this we have taken the anurti of padantat from yenga padantadati. So this ik letter should be at the end of the a pada. So consider here Kumari plus A. This A is the Drushya Rupa of Ta, which is Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachana Pratyaya. In this case, this Kumari is not a Pada. Kumari plus A, the total combination is a Pada because that ends with Supratyaya Ta. But this Kumari itself is not a Pada. So then this sutra is not applicable because that equator is not present at the end of a pada. So here ikvarnasya rasvadeshah na bhavati. By ikoyanachi we have kumariya. We don't have kumari a because equator is not present at the end. Ikaha, we have ikaha in the sutra. So maha plus isha, here we have a non-equator. It is not an equator. Dirgha is present. Though it is dirgha, there will not be a rasvadesha for this dirgha letter because it is not a equator. So there will be ad by adgunaha maha plus isha maheshaha. Asavarne achi. There should be asavarna ach letter after that equator. So consider this case Kumari plus Indra. This E dirgha E is a equator. It is pratama. Consider this as pratama vibhakti ekavachana. Still, it is followed by a savarna letter. That ikara is a savarna to this dirgha E. So then this sutra is not applicable because asavarne achi is there in this sutra. So Kumari plus Indra, Kumari Indra by akar savarne dirgha. By Shakalyasya in the sutra, we have this rule optionally Kumari Atra or Kumari Atra. Okay.
क्षम्यतां महोदय. क्षम्यतां महोदय. पूर्वम् उक्तवान् earlier you said actually Kumari plus Da. In that example.
1 minute. This one.
Okay, yeah, in this. This is Padanta is Ikara is there.
This
and
Kumari
Akara is also there.
This Kumari is not a pada.
Yeah.
It is not a pada. It is a pratipadika. This is pratipadika. It is followed by a supratyaya. This a is a supratyaya. Tritiya vibhakti ekavachana pratyaya. Once we combine Kumari plus a, the final form is called as pada because that is a subantam. It ends with supratyaya. This Kumariya is a pada. But this Kumari is not a pada. It is a pratipadikam. In this example, I told Kumari is a pada because when I consider Kumari plus A, there that Kumari was pratipadikam. Here, this Kumari is the Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachana form of the same pratipadika Kumari, but there will be deletion of that Supratyaya in this case. So the forms look similar both here and there. The form is Kumari only, but there it is Pratipadika form. Here it is Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachana form. So since it is Ekavachana form, I called it as Epada. Even though there is Lopapti Pratyaya, since even though there is no Pratyaya, but there is a Paribhasha Sutra, Pratyaya Lope Pratyaya Lakshanam. Even after the Pratyaya Lopa, all the Pratyaya Lakshanam, whatever the karyas that can be applied after a Pratyaya, the karyas that can be done due to that Pratyaya will be continued to happen even after the deletion of a pratyaya. So by pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam, even after deletion of su pratyaya, still Kumari is a pada. Is it clear? Okay. Or you have any other doubts?
No. Thank you, madam.
Okay. The next sutra is Rutyakaha. Ruti, Akaha. Ruti Saptami, Akaha Shashti. Anurutti of Prakrutya Padantat Shakalyasya Rasvaha Cha. All these come from the previous sutras. So Padantadakaha Ruti Shakalyasya Rasvaha Prakrutya Cha. So this is optional rule. One thing. Prakrutya, so there will be Prakruti Bhava. Rasvaha, there will be Rasvadesha. For what? Akaha, letters, I, U, Ru, Lu. When Ruti, whenever that letter is followed by Rukara, Rasva Rukara, because there is Takara, Tapara Karanam, so by Taparastatkalasya, only Rasva Rukara is considered. Padantad, letter, followed by Rasva Rukara, then there will be Rasva of Rasvadesha for that letter if they are Dirgha, and there will be Prakruti Bhava. So Brahma plus Rushi. Here Brahma ends with Dirgha A. We have Akaha in the sutra. In the previous sutra it was Ikaha. So in this sutra it is Akaha. In the previous sutra the Anurutti of Achi was there. So there can be any Ach letter after the tick letter. But here only Rasvarukara is considered. This sutra is applicable only whenever that Ak letter is followed by Rasva Ru. Then this Dirgha A or Dirgha Ak letter will be replaced by respective Rasva letter. So this Dirgha Akara becomes Rasva. So Brahma Rushi. After this, there will be Prakruti Bhava. There will not be any Sandhi. And by Shakalyasya, this is optional. So otherwise, Brahma plus Rushi by Adgunaha, we have Brahmarshi. Similarly, Nadi plus Rushi. Here, Nadi is a Ak letter. So Nadi Rushi, there will be Rasvadesha and Prakruti Bhavaha. Otherwise, Gunadesha. It is not Gunadesha. It is by Iko Yanachi. It is Yanadesha. Ikarasya Yakaraha. Vadu Rushi or Vadrushi by Yanadesha by Iko Yanachi. Through Rushi, here through is Dirgha Ru followed by Rasvaru. So it is Rasva through plus Rushi, through Rushi or by Iko Yanachi. Rukarasya Refa, so Trushi. It's difficult to pronounce this because Refa and that Rukara pronunciation almost will be similar. Similarly, Lu plus Rushi, Lu Rushi, because there is no Dirgha of Lu, so Rasva, and whenever Rasva Lu is followed by Ru, there will be Prakruti Bhava by this sutra, or by Iko Yanachi, Lukarasya, okay, Lukarasya Lakaraha, Rushi, it is wrong here, it is not the Rushi, it should be Rushi, Lakara followed by Rukara followed by Shi, Rushi. This is about Rutyakaha. Whenever Ak letters are followed by Rasva Rukara, there will be that Ak letter will get Rasvadesha and there will be Prakruti Bhava optionally. Otherwise, the appropriate sutras of Vachsandhi can be applied to get the respective forms. So, Ruti, Rasvaru is considered here. So, Lukara, Brahma plus Lukara, Brahma Lukaraha or Brahmalkaraha, because that Ru and Lu are Savarna to each other. So this sutra is applicable for Rasva Lu also. The next sutra is aplutavat upastite. 61129. Aplutavat upastite. Aplutavat is a avyaya. Aplutavat means it's like apluta, behaves like, or it is like apluta. Upastite, saptami ekavachana of upastita. Anurutti of prakrutya. Anvayaha aplutavat upastite. It behaves as if it is apluta whenever it is followed by upastita. So there is no word called as pluta in this sutra. We can assume, because we are in the Sandhi Prakriti Bhava Prakaranam. So it behaves like apluta means pluta, the sagna of pluta is applicable only to rasva, only to ach letters. So an ach letter, so we can assume ach aplutavat upastite. Again, it behaves like apluta. It means it should be apluta, and this sutra tells it it is behaving like apluta. It should be pluta. So the anvaya can be like plutaha aplutavat upastite. Plutaha aplutavat. So if it is not plutaha, then what is the need of telling aplutavat? So there should be a pluta. It behaves like aplutavat, apluta, whenever it is followed by upastita. Upastita means in Laukika Samskritam, iti is also called as, also mentioned as upastita. So plutaha, whenever a pluta ach letter is followed by upastita, then that pluta will behave like apluta. It is not pluta becomes apluta, it behaves like apluta. So upastite. Upastita means iti. The word iti is also called as upastita in Laukika Samskrita. So plutaha plus iti, this pluta behaves like apluta. So what does it mean? By pluta pragruhya achinityam, whenever a pluta letter is followed by any ach letter, there will be prakruti bhava. By this sutra, we have, whenever any pluta letter is followed by the word iti, that pluta will be behave like apluta. It means that pluta will not behave like pluta, so it is aplutavat. So since it behaves like an apluta, there can be that appropriate application of appropriate sutras of ach sandhi. So consider some examples, it will be clear. Sushloka iti. Here this is a pluta letter. It is followed by iti. So this sutra is applicable only when any pluta letter is followed by ach letter. Yeah, sorry. It is not ach letter. It is only iti. Only iti should be there, and any pluta letter can be here. Then this pluta behaves like apluta. So since it is considered this is not a pluta, so it is a apluta. So the here a is followed by e. So a plus e is an case of adguna. So by adguna we have sushloketi. Sushloketi. Since this is a pluta, by pluta pragruhya achinityam, there should be prakruti bhava. So this sutra is an exception for pluta pragruhya achinityam. Whenever a pluta letter is followed by the word iti, then this ach letter will behave like apluta. There we have aplutavat. Aplutavat. Why aplutavat? Why not just apluta? Aplutaha upastite. Why the word is presented as aplutavat in the sutra? Because that pluta will not be converted into apluta. It will be remain as pluta only, but for the prakriyas it will be treated as an apluta. That's the meaning. Consider this example. Agni iti. Here, this Agni is the Dvivachana, Pratama Dvivachana form of Agni. So it is Dvivachana, and by some sutras of Pluta Prakarana, like Dura Dute or other sutras, we have Pluta here for that Dvivachana, Pratama Dvivachana word Agni, we have Pluta. So in this case, by this sutra, this Pluta will be behaves like Aplutavat. So consider this is not Pluta now. Agni plus iti, because by this sutra, whenever this Pluta is followed by iti, this e behaves like Apluta. So it is not behaving like Pluta. So by Pluta Pragruhya Achinityam, we were having Prakriti Bhava, but this is not Pluta anymore. So we can apply appropriate sutra of Sandhi Prakarana. So E is followed by E by Aka Savarna Dirgha, there should be the Savarna Dirgha. But we have the scope for Aka Savarna Dirgha here. But by E do de Dvivachanam Pragruhyam, this is a Dvivachana word Agni, and it is ending with Dirgha Ikara. So by this sutra, Idu De Dvivachanam Pragruhyam, this is also qualifies to be called as a Pragruhya. This is also a Pragruhya. So even if it is not Pluta, still it is a Pragruhya. So by Pluta Pragruhya Achinityam, this Akasavarne Dirgaha cannot be applied. Pluta Pragruhya Achinityam blocks Akasavarne Dirgaha, and there will be Prakriti Bhavaha between these two, Agni plus Iti. Even though if we treat this Agni as Apluta, still there will not be any Sandhi because it is a Pragruhya also. Now, then there will be Prakriti Bhava, then we have to pronounce these two separately, Agni and Iti. While pronouncing, we have to pronounce it as Pluta only, not as Apluta, not as Dirgha. This E after that Nakara in Agni, we have to pronounce that as Pluta only, because it is not converted into Apluta. It is still Pluta only, but for the Karyas, if there are any sandhis to be made between two letters, then only we have to treat it as it is like Apluta. Otherwise, it is Pluta only. So there will be Prakriti Bhava. Now we have to pronounce this E as Pluta only. That's why that Vat is added. Apluta Vat. It is like Apluta. E Chakravarmanasya is the last sutra. E Chakravarmanasya Aplutavat Achi. E Chakravarmanasya Aplutavat Achi. Chakravarmana, again a grammarian. So E, the Pluta E, this sutra. Achi, whenever it is followed by an Ach letter, it that Dirgha E, sorry, that Pluta E will be acting like, or it behaves like Apluta, is the meaning of this sutra. E Chakravarmanasya, by the opinion of, according to the opinion of Chakravarmana Maharshi, this Pluta E, the previous sutra was Aplutavat Upastite, any Pluta letter, whenever it is followed by Ikara. Here in this sutra, only Pluta E, whenever it is followed by any H letter, vice versa. In the previous sutra, the Purva Varna can be any H letter. Here Paravarna can be any H letter. Their Paravarna was only Rasva Ikara of iti. Here Purvarna is only Pluta. E. Consider this example. Chinuhi idam. Here this is Pluta E. It is followed by idam. So here by Pluta Pragruhya Achinityam, we should have Prakruti Bhava. But by this sutra E Chakravarmanasya, Pluta E, whenever it is followed by any Ach letter, it behaves like a Pluta. So since it is not a Pluta now, we have by Akasa Varne Dirgaha Chinuhidam, or since it is according to the opinion of Chakravarmanasya, it is optional. We can consider this Pluta E as Pluta also. So if we consider it as Apluta, there will be a Savarna Dirgha. If we consider it as Apluta, then there will be Prakruti Bhava. So thus we considered completed these sutras. Angonanasikashchandasi kosavarne shakalyasya rasvashta rutyakaha apluta ई chakravarmanasya. So by Angonanasikashchandasi, that upasarga or that ang, whenever it is followed by any H letter, in the Vedas, we see that a is converted into anunasikaha and there will be Prakruti Bhava after that. Iko savarne shakalyasya rasvascha. Whenever ik letter are followed by any H letter, which is not savarna to that ik letters, asavarna ik letters, whenever they are followed by asavarna H letter, there will be, if that ik letters were dirgha, if they were dirgha, they become a rasva and there will be Prakruti Bhava after that. Rutyakaha, Ruti Akaha, whenever ak letters are followed by Rukara, Rasva Rukara, then there will be, if those ak letters are dirgha, they will get Rasvadesha and there will be Prakruti Bhava. And again, this is also optionally. Aplutavad upastite, a Pluta, any Pluta, whenever it is followed by the word iti, there will be that Pluta H letter will behave like Apluta and there will be application of appropriate H Sandhi rules. E Chakravarmanasya, Pluta E, whenever it is followed by any H letter, this E will behave like Apluta and there will be application of appropriate H Sandhi rules. धन्यवादः.